Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today, we are going to be talking about Galactic Legends again, kind of. So we've been doing a lot of videos specifically around Galactic Legends involving how to farm them, when to farm them, who to farm them with, and I don't want to get into this total habit of saying, okay, you have to go after Galactic Legend, then you have to go after it again, and then you have to go after it again, and you end up having this super really top-heavy roster that is good for a lot of things, but you might also get burnt out on it. It's not going to be overall as effective in every game mode while it might dominate PvP. So what we're trying to do here today is we're going to go over all the squads that you already get halfway to because of a Galactic Legend that you should really just try to go all the way with to get as much value as you can. And that being said, it's really hard to go after one Galactic Legend to the next right off the bat just because a lot of them require really high relic levels, relic 7, 8, and 9. Actually, 9 hasn't been required yet, but it will be probably soon. That being said, you might be better off going and building relic 3s or relic 2s or relic 4s or something of the sort in other teams that can help bolster your B teams, and that's really what we're getting at today. So we have a list of all of them here. Awkwardly enough, Rey and Kylo don't make any appearances, not because their factions or their requirements are bad, but because they all are within, Kylo's all within First Order, and Rey is all entirely within her resistance team. So you don't get to see a lot of variation. Like, I think I still have Rey in the journey guide. Yeah, so this is Rey here, and you're not really building or able to add other characters to make a team. Like, you can make some things here and there. Like, sure, you can build up BAM to be able to run with the vets. That's okay, but I don't think the ideal BAM team has the vets. So we're going to be trying to go for more so the best value overall rather than just trying to, pigeonhole some random characters from the Galactic Legends. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First off, for Jedi Master Luke. If you've already gotten Jedi Master Luke, you get Jedi Training Rey and R2 for free. Obviously, you have to work for them, you have to build the resources to be able to get them. And if you have just J tier kind of sitting around, there's really no home for, I guess, outside of Starkiller, which is okay, that you can use to run randomly. R2 does actually have a few places, but if you want to, you can go ahead and build up BB-8. Doesn't have to be R7. These characters really can all be R3, and the team can still be functional. You can still give them a Datacron. The 25% was wonderful with this team where they would all just go first and really take over. I've actually even used this in light side territory battles. Not wildly consistent, but again, if you only have one Galactic Legend and you're trying to find the best bang for your buck in other squads, this is a really great option. One other thing you can do to kind of lighten the load, if you already have Kylo or Rey as well, I guess if you have Rey, then this is just irrelevant. But if you already have Kylo, you can actually drop Resistance Hero Poe here, and you can fill him in with the Vet Han. Vet Han's double tap with the stagger is actually a really good ability that goes along with them. This team has a lot of control with turn meter and exposes and whatnot, and just every once in a while being able to shut someone down entirely is really nice. And since Vet Han does have the resistance tag, that allows him to keep up with the rest of everyone. He also gets a really nice bonus attack or extra turn meter if Rey dies, but she might die first because Risen Seraphim is going to make her taunt every now and then. So that's one team that you can do after you get JML. Second team after you get JML. And this one is there's a little bit of back and forth in this one. You definitely want to go after Kara and Kyle Katarn. These are also building stones to both Starkiller as well as BAM. Granted, you don't need her at relics, but those are two characters that are really in Mon Mothma's best lineup. And you can continue to use Wedge and Biggs from your Jedi Master Luke farm, but if you're really wanting to take this all the way, they're not in the ideal comp. You want probably Pow and probably Hoth Rebel Scout here, just because they're the ones that make this the turn meter monster team that it truly is. Wedge and Biggs aren't totally useless. They are Rebel fighters, so they do get a lot of the bonuses and whatnot. And Biggs's kit, this right here, has aged super well. It is very annoying. He gains 100% turn meter every single time he's critically hit or hit by an Empire. So I like to take in my undergeared Iden to beat Mon Mothma every time. We typically win, but it ends up becoming like a 4.5 minute battle because Biggs just keeps getting 100% turn meter, calling everyone to assist. They keep healing. It's not an enjoyable process for your opponent. That being said, you can swap the two of them out and you can use this team in a different way. What you do not want to do, what you really don't want to do, and I should have mentioned this before, is not use Kyle and Kara and just make some really bad Mon Mothma variation with the rest of the Rex, like let's say Lando and Captain Han, or yeah, that's the issue, is you run out of Rebel fighters. If you're just strictly going off of Jedi Master Luke's Rex, you end up sticking someone like Rolo or Captain Han in there, who don't get to share a lot of the bonuses with Mon Mothma, because that's specifically to Rebel fighters, so the whole team just becomes weaker when you don't venture out and gear at least Kyle Katarn. So that is the two for Jedi Master Luke that are best. Up next is going to be C's teams. Once you got C, you have Veers, Stark, and Admiral Pratt at least at R5. And then it might be a really good time to bring up both Dark and Range. And there is actually a little bit of flexibility in here as well. If you're trying to probably make the most dominant trooper team, Gideon is probably better than Stark. But still, you're still using two of the requirements from C. This really takes the team to the next level. This probably isn't something to be too focused on, though, just because if you get the right speeds on Piet and Veers, this team just obliterates things. You don't necessarily need Dark. Dark is very nice for a lot of teams. I'll take that back what I said. He is necessary to beat certain comps, where you need to get a kill immediately. I know this might not be relevant for a lot of the end game right now because Malgus exists, but the way that you get through a relic set on a Darth Revan team is by having a relic dart. You will struggle heavily to be able to get through them without it. If you're still fighting gear 12s or something like that, troopers can probably do fine, but it's an extra advantage that you can get. And I just like range in general. I guess that could be getting as well if you're on a budget or trying to do something else. So now we're going to get into kind of a combo one here. So if you're going after C and JMK, or really either one, you're getting different pieces to this. So JMK, you get Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Aayla Secura. Qui-Gon Jinn and Mace Windu are both very good. Jedi Anakin is from C. And then if you can get Cam, I realize that might not be possible, so we should give some substitutes here. But you should have a well-functioning Qui-Gon Jinn team by the time you realistically have either one of those Galactic Legends. That should be an effort after you get him. Whether it be C and you're getting Jedi Anakin, you should build up the rest. Or if you're getting JMK and then, again, build up the rest. If you don't have access to Cam, I know a lot of people don't. I believe he's recently been in shipments, but that's not the best thing for everyone. You do want to make sure that you are only allowing Galactic Republic in here. So if you really want to, you can add Shock or Grandmaster Yoda that also come with the JMK requirements. But another really great option, if they're both occupied, is actually Barriss. I actually don't have her geared up to relics. I did take her to gear 12 when this process occurred for me, so that was very nice for my roster. But you want Galactic Republic. If you just throw in some random Jedi, like let's say Old Ben from your Jedi Master Luke farm, you end up cutting out this 100% more damage. And this 100% more damage is huge because for Qui-Gon Jinn and his Omicron, he is giving you raw offense. What he's not doing is giving you just a flat damage modifier that'll actually just double that. So huge bonus. Barriss is fine. Grandmaster is fine. Shock's fine. Cam is arguably ideal, but I realize he's out of access for a lot of people. And you can probably swap Aayla out of here too. But again, that's a team that you should have running after you get C or JMK, at least in some fashion. Next up, and this one's going to be fun, Mandalorians. If you have gotten JMK, you have unlocked, or you have a 7-star Wat, as well as a Bo-Katan and a Jango, and really you're setting yourself up for the perfect Mandalorian team. I realize Maul is gated behind Conquest and Proving Grounds right now, so it might be a longer farm, but it's something that you should have on your radar. And again, if you have these characters star, you should at least start working to get them geared. Again, even if you're only able to take Maul and Canderous up to R3, this is still a really nasty team to deal with. Wat will go first because he gets his bonus turn at the very beginning. He'll give a tech that'll trigger Maul's Frenzy. Maul will get to use his AoE. That will end up giving Canderous turn meter, who will then trigger the second Frenzy, and then Maul just deletes someone. This is a really fantastic squad. It's really A tier. We've talked about how this can even challenge Galactic Legends such as C. So again, you have three pieces. Finish the other two. Like, Bo-Katan is not probably doing anything for you if you've gotten JMK, and that's a really good place for her. And also, Canderous is nice to get through the Revens. You might already have him gear 12 or gear 11 because of that. And then Jango and Wat can be used in other places, but I honestly really like this team. And next up is going to be Jedi Master Kenobi and Lord Vader. So again, we're looking at a combo similar to C. If you're going after Lord Vader, you're getting R7 Newt. If you're going after JMK, you are getting Grievous as well as Magna Guard. And there is a little bit of overlap here with the gas event as well. However, if you were like me, you kept B2 at gear 12 for an obscene amount of time just because you didn't have the relic levels to get him. Once you have all the other pieces for this is, again, really a team that should minimum be at Relic 3. If you've already got the investments here, that'll allow you to also use Datacrons on top of it. As much as I hate the Relegate, that is a reality. A lot of those level 3 Datacron bonuses can be very effective, and it is worth just having the rest if the Galactic Legend has already gotten you the main pieces for the most part. So again, something that's very, very cool to look into if you have that done. Either one of those, honestly. Speaking of the gas event, so this is not going to apply to everyone. I feel like most people, not all, but most people already have this team by the time they finish Lord Vader. But if you don't, I actually do know someone who's on this path. If you don't have your Rex and 5s geared up, they are an absolute must. If you already have General Skywalker at R8, Arc at R8, as well as Echo as R7, you really want to complete that team. There aren't really substitutes that you can put in here. Like, you can put in Ahsoka for 1, I guess, that works. But if you start to put Clone Sarge or Cody or something else in here that you got from JMK, you start to lose out on some really huge functions and bonuses from gas, where it would almost be better if you're on offense just to flat out undersize it. Actually, not almost better, it is better. It's better to have the team be pure 5 first, then throw in, and I see this a lot in like mid-tier, I think, GACs. A lot of people like put shock in here. Don't do that. You completely neuter Gas's unique. That lets him do all kinds of cool things, and yeah, so definitely go after and finish that team. But that is going to wrap it up for the most part. There are some other like straggler characters out there that you can build teams on. I guess we could add put Wampa's Omicron if you've already gone after Jedi Knight Luke or even Jabba at this point. I guess we maybe should have looked at Jabba's characters as well, but it's a little, as I don't have the Galactic Legend, I don't have as much experience on it, and it's probably not going to be super helpful for people who are starting to build a roster right now, so maybe we can do a touch-up on this later. But that is going to be it for today, guys. Let me know what we missed. Let me know what other teams that you like to gear up in between your Galactic Legends. This is not meant to be an exhaustive list where, you know, you shouldn't gear anything else that isn't on this list between them. But this is something where you can go in and you can help complete projects that you've already started and you've already put a lot of work into. So, as always, stay awesome.